morning, beloveds. I'm having a little bit of a morning. Actually, I'm just, I opened the iPad and set it up and didn't have it set right, and it fell off and it hit Foster in the head, so I feel really bad about that. Last night I couldn't get my phone to connect to my computer, and I was kind of freaked out about that. And then this morning it connected just fine. So I'm just like, and then obviously you can tell the humidity is really high because my hair's huge. So I'm just like, I'm just having one of those, take a deep breath. That's what I need, is a deep breath. It was kind of funny. Reverend Arthur was talking about how we don't, we don't control our heartbeat. We don't control our breathing because we forget to breathe. But one of the things that we do when we are stressed out is we shallow breathe. And so when things are just kind of a little messy and chaotic, stop and take a deep breath. Stop and take a deep breath. So if you haven't seen Reverend Arthur, scroll back a few videos, watch the Sunday service, or click the YouTube link, because I say he raises the roof and brings the house down. He's phenomenal, and I really enjoy it. Not that I don't absolutely love Reverend Jesse, because I do, but Reverend Arthur's just special. So, all right. I also like that he calls Jesse his elder brother, or big brother. It's funny. So, especially since Reverend Arthur's quite a bit taller than Reverend Jesse. But Reverend Arthur's my age, and so I will tell you a funny thing though, and then I'm going to get on with this. One time Reverend Jesse said, that he takes a fatherly interest in me. Now this was back, I think even before when I was in practitioner training, not even before I even went to ministerial school. He's not quite old enough to be my father. But I appreciate the sentiment. Because his fatherly interest in me has definitely taken me some interesting places, including ministerial school. So, right. There we go. What am I? I don't even know what I'm talking about. We are in the Science of Mind text. We are in part 5. We are in other teachings from the New Testament. We've been doing Romans, which I'm not as familiar with as I am the teachings of Jesus. So we are starting on the bottom of 486 with the renewing of your mind from Romans 12:2. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Today we know what this means. The renewing of the mind is a scientific act. As the conscious thought pours truth into the subjective channels of energy, the body is automatically renewed. This is mental healing. Mental healing is a conscious act as well as an established fact in the experience of many people. Instead of old concepts of disease and failure, we are to inject those of liberty, freedom, health, harmony, and success. Mental healing is subject to the exact laws of mind and spirit and is accomplished by correct knowing. This knowing is a mental attitude towards the truth. It is the truth which makes free, and it is the mind which knows the truth. The body is healed as the inner mind is transformed, as the old and false images of thought are renewed by images of truth and life. The process through which this renewing takes place is a conscious one and may be practiced by anyone who understands the principle involved, which is the point of daily spiritual practice. The point of daily spiritual practice is to renew your mind. And there is a definite connection between mind and body, There have been a number of trainings recently about the gut-brain connection. And then if you look at the gut-body connection, and then so The point of daily spiritual practice is to connect daily, to renew your mind daily, and your life will be transformed, both body and your current affairs. As you improve your mental health, then you start to see opportunities that may have been right in front of you the whole time, but you didn't have the mental capacity to notice them. And so that is the point of this mental healing. As your mind becomes clear, you start to see things that you didn't see before that have been right in front of you the whole time. So, all right. Bless and curse not, from Romans 12:14. Bless and curse not. Here is the whole law and prophets. We are to overcome evil with good. Good lasts but for a day, while evil lasts for but a day, while goodness shines to eternity, and loving kindness is the very nature of deity. As the darkness has no power over light, so evil is overcome with good. Vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord. This is a statement of the law of cause and effect. God does not avenge, but the law of cause and effect extracts the utmost farthing. We need not worry about how things are coming out. The law takes care of everything and returns to each exactly what is their due. One of the more interesting things that you can see where somebody is, if you say, have the day you deserve. Okay. That will rock people back on their heels. Have the day you deserve. It will tell you what's going on in their mind. And honestly, we can talk about karma. We can talk about karma because karma is the same thing. It's the law of cause and effect. If you do good, good comes back to you. And if you do bad, bad comes back to you. But it comes in unexpected ways, and it's not our job. It is not our job. You know, when you see people doing things, it's like, now obviously if they're hurting somebody, we want to stop that, but it's like, it's not our job to punish people. And it's not actually, he says in here, you know, the Lord saith, but he even said, the deity isn't doing it. God isn't punishing people. People are punishing themselves with the law of cause and effect. Evil is not a power in and of itself. That is the biggest thing we want to remember. Evil is not a power in and of itself. It is a misuse of power. And when people use power destructively, then it does come back to bite them. So it is up to us to use our power constructively. And it's not that there isn't sometimes there are things that need to be dismantled. So all destruction is not bad. You know, sometimes things need to fall apart so they can fall back together again into a new arrangement. So don't get too bound up on it's just, things that need to come apart, they're going to do that. We don't have to do anything about that. So bless and curse not. It's not our job, and it will echo back on us. So it's extra not our job. All right. The Great Awakening from Romans 13:11. Now is high time to awake out of sleep. The belief in a life apart from God is a dream from which we must awaken if we are to taste the waters of reality, which flow from the source of life. As one awakens from a nightmare, so the mentality awakens from the dream of a living death to a realization of eternal life. We cast off the works of darkness when we realize that evil is not an entity, but a fraud. The armor of light is the truth, the very knowing of which makes free. That's just kind of a weird way to phrase it. Makes free. This awakening is a process of evolution. A little here and a little there until the whole eye is opened and we see that life is neither separate from God nor different from good. Life is God, and good is the only power there is or can be. To awaken oneself is to be healed, made prosperous, happy, and satisfied, to be made every whit whole, to be complete as we are intended to be. God is a God of the living and not of the dead. God sees and knows only perfection and completion, happiness and satisfaction. When we shall think of ourselves as God knows us, then the complete salvation will come to us. And that's one of those things. When we think of ourselves as God knows us. That's one I like to, at the end of this, I typically will say something to that effect. Not every day, but most days. It's like, forget everything that anybody has ever told you about yourself. Go back and get to know the person that God knows you to be. Because that person is good. Because that's what God knows. God doesn't know anything other than good. So if you go back to the template, go back and get a look at the blueprints. Here's where I could quote Goswami at you. Because that's his idea. We have 5 bodies. We have what he calls the gross body, which is the material body. And then we have the bliss body. And then there are 3 bodies in between. And it's like the bliss body is the body that God knows. The bliss body is the person that you are that God knows. And God knows you to be happy, to whole, complete, successful, wonderful. It's one of those things that my grandfather, who's been off the planet for a few years, he had this way of coming up to you, and he'd put his arm around your shoulders and pull you into a side hug, and he'd look down at you because he was over 6 foot and I'm only 5'4", so he would look down at me, and he would look in your eyes and he would say, "You're wonderful," And if I wanted an image to of God, that right there would be it. My grandfather holding me in that gentle, side hug where you're nestled up against his side, and he looks down in your eyes and he says, "You're wonderful." That would be mine. That would be my stand-in for God. Do I think that God is an old white man in the sky? No. But if I wanted an image of a loving God, right there, that interaction with my grandfather, because it happened every time, every time you saw him, at some point in the visit, he would do that. That's the way I envision God. And so I can hold on to that. And that's part of that awakening, is recognizing the goodness and seeing that the good interactions that we have with each other would be, as Emerson calls Jove nodding to Jove. When we are good to each other, that's God interacting with God. And that's part of that great awakening. Life isn't separate from God. God is constantly working through us to do these amazing things. And it's incredible when we're willing to allow the process. All right, let me see here. Ooh, we're moving on to Corinthians. The law of God is one of liberty. And this is 2 Corinthians 3:17. So we'll do that, and then the next section, because it's how to demonstrate liberty, and then I think we'll stop there. Okay, so the law of God is one of liberty and not one of bondage. The Spirit of the Lord is everywhere. Freedom and liberty are also everywhere, if we could but see them. Freedom, like truth, is self-existent and self-propelling. The Spirit, truth, and freedom are coexistent with one another. Whenever we are conscious of God or pure spirit, we are made free. This is proven in mental and spiritual healing. When we are conscious of perfect life, the body is healed. We must become unconscious of the imperfect and conscious of the perfect alone. Since our idea of perfection is limited to our present understanding, we do not yet manifest perfection. With a greater understanding of reality through our consciousness, we shall evolve a more perfect body. In the demonstration of abundance, we seek to realize the liberty of the children of God, the freedom whereby God proves the absoluteness. This is done not by meditation upon limitation, but by contemplating plenty, abundance, success, prosperity, and happiness. It is unscientific to dwell upon lack, for it will create the undesired condition. It is scientific to meditate on plenty, to bring to mind the point of conceiving of it, an eternal flow of life, truth, and energy through us and through everything we do, say, or think. Ugh. Okay. So, like, I'm having a hot flash. Not really. I'm just warm. But I am sweating. So, what this reminds me of is gratitude. Okay. When we focus on what we have and are grateful for what we have, we are contemplating the plenty. We are contemplating the abundance, rather than focusing on what we don't have. And that right there, that exercise can go a long distance in improving your mood. When you're focused on what you don't have, it doesn't feel good. But when you are focused on what you do have and grateful for what you do have, you are meditating on the plenty. I also want to remind you, perfect it can be a triggering word for a lot of people. It was a trigger word for me. And even now, sometimes I'm like, it'll kick me. But Jessie gave me a better definition for perfect. If you look perfect up, it doesn't necessarily mean flawless. It means whole. It means it's all included. So to a degree, the messiness gets to be included, which I'm grateful for because, I'm a fairly messy person. I'm not neat. So, I have ideas flying everywhere. I have stuff flying everywhere. So sometimes it takes me a minute to get organized. Well, the good news is that gets to be included in my perfection. Okay. It's part of the whole me. It's part of the creative process. I mean, anybody who's an artist, they tend to be messy. Not dirty. There's a difference. Not dirty, but messy. And so that gets to be included in the perfection. Okay? So when you hear perfection, when you hear perfect, don't think flawless. Don't think, it's not like that. It's just not like that. All right. Now I'm going to do this section, how to demonstrate liberty, because it's connected to this, 2 Corinthians, and then we're going to stop. To demonstrate liberty, drop all negative thoughts from the mind. Do not dwell upon adversity, but think plenty into everything. For there is a power in the word. There is power in the word. Meditate on things you are doing as being already done, complete and perfect. Try to sense the infinite life around and within you. This life is already fully expressed and complete. This life is your life now and the life of all that you do, say, or think. Meditate upon this life until your whole being flows into it and becomes one with it. Now you are ready to prove your principle by allowing this life to flow through the thing that you are working on or for. Do not will or try to compel things to happen. Things happen by immutable law, and you do not need to energize the essence of being. It is already big with power. All you need to do is realize this fact and then let it be done unto you or unto that for which you are working. L-E-T is a big word and an important one. By taking thought, you do not add 1 cubit to reality, but you do let reality to manifest in the things you are doing. As the power of your meditation is centered on what you are doing, life flows through that thing, animating it with real power and action, which culminates in desired results. The Spirit of God is loosed in your work. Where this Spirit is, there is liberty. All right, so what I'm hearing is don't white knuckle it. Don't white knuckle it. And I've said that before. It was kind of one of those light bulb moments for me when I figured out the difference between my willpower and the will of God. Okay. Don't white knuckle it. Don't hold on to it and try and will it to happen for, trying to use your willpower, because that's not what your willpower is for. Your willpower is for discipline to let go and let it happen, to allow that inexhaustible power to flow through you. Frequently when we white knuckle things, we're blocking that natural flow. So don't white knuckle it. Okay. That how to demonstrate liberty, don't white knuckle it. Allow that power to flow through you, not from you. There's a difference. Sometimes, because I am Reiki trained, I have 2 levels. I never went to get the 3rd level because you need that to teach. And apparently I wasn't going to do that. I may change my mind, but not right now. So I would envision like pulling an extension cord out of the top of my head and plugging in. Or you can like connecting a hose. It's like you are letting a power flow through you. It is not coming from you, because the power that you have is limited. But the power of Spirit is unlimited. Allow it to flow through you. Don't white knuckle it. All right. So we are going to start on the bottom of 489 with mental expansion tomorrow. All right. So I'm going to do what I like to call the housekeeping really quickly. I'm going to remind you that an easy way to support the center is to engage with our social media. Go and create. Go and like. Oh, okay. Like, share, subscribe, follow, comment. The social medias are Creative Life Spiritual Center and Creative Life Spark. And I am the Running Rev Ryan on the social medias. I've just got myself all out of order and discombobulated. But here we are. I love these words like discombobulated and kerfluffle. I love kerfluffle. That is definitely one of my favorite words there. Kerfluffle. All right. But that's not the point. So engage with our social media. It bumps us in the algorithms, and we think we have important stuff to share. We want to help people make the most of their lives. So if you want more information about the center, we have a website, creativelife.org, or there's a constant contact email, which is info@creativelife.org. And the hot links are hot. If it says click here now, it means it'll get right, it'll take you right to the information you want or the person that can help you get it. So also, it's constant contact, which means nobody will see your email and we will not share your email. So you don't have to worry about that. And you'll only get 1 email a week unless something unusual happens. It is hurricane season, because it's a real person doing it and he doesn't have time for more than that. All right. Now I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a take care of yourself day, and enjoy the cooler weather day. I really liked walking outside and having the air not try and kill me. It was great. Drink plenty of water day, a wear your sunscreen day, a take a deep breath day, a you got this day, a take care of your tasks day, a take a nap day, a cuddle your fur baby day, a call a friend day, a do what you gotta do day, or leave it until tomorrow day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough. just as you are. You are a beloved expression of the divine. All right? You are a brilliant light, a divine spark. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. Or as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling. All right, beloveds. I'm going to move into the process of my day, because I could have a busy day or not. You never know. You never know. So, I don't know what that looks like. And here I am, confused, and that's okay. Where was I going with this? I'm going to remind you that Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9. Let's be honest, it's 9:15. That's what time I'm on, 9:15. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.